Welcome to T.O.L Studios, and today in Lesson 9, we're going to just basically take another look at some more patterns we can create by taking some of the patterns that we already know, and like I've been showing you, linking those in combinations, which therefore technically is creating new patterns. But I'm trying to simplify your thinking, just realizing that you're linking things you already know in different combinations. So for these lessons here, or for today, number 9's lesson, I'm going to go back to the quarter notes on the hi-hat. Same thing eventually, we can kind of do it with eighth notes on the hi-hats. But back to the quarter notes. And I'm going to take pattern number 2 and pattern number 6 and kind of show you what I'm talking about. Now, in this lesson, I'm not going to kind of talk about the other ones in detail other than how I'm linking them together right now. If you don't know the ones I'm talking about, go back to the other old lessons, check those videos out so you're familiar with the ones I'm talking about. But I'm going to take number 2, which would have been the, okay, and that's where I was going kick, kick, snare, kick, snare. And then number 6 would have been the kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, kick. Okay, and what I'm kind of saying by linking these together, if you take number 2, and you're pretty much almost all the way playing number 2, which would have been the only thing I'm going to tell you to do is add a kick right after that last snare, which is how we end pattern 6, because on pattern 6, that kick right there, so we're just taking that kick that we normally do at the end of 6 and putting it to number 2. So again, number 2 would have been going extra kick, and it's going to go kick, 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 snare, kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, kick, snare, kick, 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 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 kick, kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, kick, snare, kick. So I'll call that one, since I gave the other ones numbers, as far as example 1, 2, 3, even though I'm saying those are pretty much pattern 2 with the very ending of 6, we'll call that one example 8, just so if I refer to it on the next lesson, you'll know which one I'm talking about. So just think of example 8, like I said, you're taking basically the whole pattern of 2 with just that little bit of 6 at the end of it. And that's honestly, any instrument's kind of doing what I'm telling you, but I mean, you have to know what I'm saying, obviously, but you're taking things you know, and just how can I take that and just slightly change it up, and it does, it creates something new. But sometimes, like when we read the music or when somebody's teaching it to us, we can tend to overthink it, and that's why I'm trying to really make the purpose of these lessons, just keep it simple as possible. There's always the physical part that, yes, I make it look easy, and you might have to just sit on one of these for a while. So I have to do it too, so like I said, be smart and stay on the ones you need to. Okay, I'm still going to take pattern 2 for the next example. So I'll call this example 9, but again, let's keep it simple. I'm taking pattern 2. Okay, that's pattern 2. And then I'm going to take pattern 5, which would have went okay, now you're going to basically see number 2 almost the whole way of pattern 2. But if pattern 2 was like that, if we take just a little bit of 5 in the middle of 5 where it goes, that part, that extra kick after the snare, that middle part like here. Okay, now if we take pattern 2, okay, now I'll explain this better, but what I did, I kept starting pattern 2, then right after that snare, I took that quick 8th note kick that I have you doing in pattern 5 and put it in there, Then I went right back to the rest of pattern 2. So kick. Now pattern 2 would have been okay, so pattern 2 is normally kick, kick, snare, kick, snare. Now I've got you going kick, kick, snare, 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 kick, kick, snare. Okay, remember, if that's hard to do, be smart. I've got you roughly about 60 on a metronome. Be smart if you have to. Okay, now again, what I did there, did you hear at that speed? Number 2 by itself. Number 5 by itself. Okay, we're just taking that quick part of the middle of number 5, the extra kick, and putting it to number 2. Kick, kick, snare, kick, kick, snare, kick, kick, snare, kick, kick, snare. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Okay, when I first showed it to you, I was about. Okay, so I get that. That's a little. I know some of you might be like, well, that's not fast. I just know where you're at. Sometimes I have to really slow something down so my brain comprehends it, and also the physical part. Honestly, it's kind of the ball gets rolling once you get it going. That's why normally I am practicing to a good old click. That's at 60. And that's what I'm showing you. This would be example 9. Which is number 2 and number 5 pattern. Kick, kick, snare, kick, kick, snare. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Kick, kick, snare, kick, kick, snare. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Okay, and again, through all these, I'm just keeping that's what you want to work. So that's following that metronome there. Okay, now I'm going to take number 2. Same thing, feel like you're playing it straight through. That's what I'm trying to get you to kind of trick yourself into thinking. And we're going to take number 7. So number 2 by itself. Okay, that's number 2 by itself again. Number 7 would have been the one where we went. Okay, like that. Now if you take number 2, we're going to put the extra kick in right after it. So almost just like in fact it is just what we did. Okay, then you're going to finish it. Now that's exactly what I showed you. You're just going to put that extra kick at the end as well. So now I'll kind of say that a little slower. So if we've got number 2, which was the kick, kick, snare, kick, snare. Every time you're hitting the snare on this, you're going to pop in an extra kick after that. And that's because number 7 would have been going pattern 7, kick, 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 snare, kick, kick. Okay, so if we take number 2 now, kick, kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, 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 kick, kick, snare, kick, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and kick, kick, snare, kick, kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, kick, kick, snare, kick. Okay, now I'm going to go, so that's basically me thinking of pattern 2 3 times, and how I took number 5 and kind of put it together with 2, Then I took pattern 2, put pattern 6 together. Then I did pattern 2 with pattern 7. So kind of think of it as I'm trying to say like your theme of all three of those was pattern 2, and how we were kind of just switching little extra things, adding just a little here, and then switching it around. So now I'm going to show you 3 more exercises. And by the way, those 3 again, we'll call that so you can follow me for future reference. The first one I did that was pattern 2 and 6 is example 8. We're going to take the next one I did, pattern 2 and 5, that's going to be example 9. And then we'll take pattern 2 and pattern 7, which was the third one I just showed you, and that's going to be example 10. So now we've added example 8, 9, and 10. So for example 11, example 12, and example 13, the 3 I'm going to show you, we're going to always think of pattern 3, which would be okay, and I'm always going to get you to think of that, and then we're going to take the same 3 that we just used, pattern 6, pattern 5, and pattern 7. So if we have 3 going, okay, and if we have number 6, okay, now you're going to have, now I'll say this one, kick, snare, kick, 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 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and kick, snare, kick, 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 kick, snare, kick. Okay, so that was pattern 3 and pattern 6 together, which would be our example 11. So for example 12, number 3 would be, so keeping that as the theme, we're going to take 5, pattern 5, okay, so that's going to give us now together pattern 3, and this when I add that, we're going to have now going, now I'll say this, okay, so the 3 by itself was, pattern 5 would have been, now together, 1, 2, and 3, oh sorry, messed up there, my fault, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So you put that extra kick for 3 right there, kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, so there's 3 in a row. Starting to give your foot a workout. Those are a little tricky. Okay, I'll say it here. So kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, kick, snare, kick, 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 snare. A little slower on that one. Kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, kick, snare, kick, 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 snare. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Kick, snare, kick, 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 snare. Kick, snare, kick, 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 snare. Okay? So again, if that would have been 8, 9, 10, 11, that was the pattern 12, pattern 13, we're going to take pattern 3, and then we're going to take pattern 7, which would have been, okay, now if we put those together, that means we're going to have that extra kick on both spots because of number 7 meaning it coming right after the snare. Okay, like that's at number 7, pattern 7. So with 3 and 7 together, that's going to give us our okay, now if I say that one, I'll do it a little slower. kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, kick, kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, kick, kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, kick, kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, kick. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 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 kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, kick, kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, kick, kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, kick, kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, kick. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, kick, kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, kick. Okay, so that gave us as our theme pattern 3, and then in combinations we took pattern 6, pattern 5, and pattern 7. So now we're going to take pattern 4 for our theme, which would have been our okay, and then that's going to give us now, we'll think of this as example 14, 15, and 16, and make sure I said those right, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, yeah, 14, 15, and 16, but we're going to use pattern 4, which was that's going to be our theme. Then we're going to take pattern 6, 5, and 7 like we've been doing. So if I do 4 and 6 together, we're going to make that one go as pattern 4. Pattern 6 would have been, okay, together, then you're going to have, so again, on a lot of these you get more kicks together, a lot of times 3 in a row, which I get that. I'll show you some exercises also to build up some strength for your foot muscles and coordination there too. That's why I said take these slow. When I learned all these, and if I had to, I know it's not as fun, but that's what's going to help you later. Okay, and switch them around, stuff like that, and have your control in that. But you start playing too fast too soon, and again, this doesn't matter any instruments this way: guitar, piano, bass guitar, saxophone, violin, drums. If you take off and go too quick, you're going to pick up a lot of bad techniques. You know, as far as like hand grip, tensing up, wasted motion. And we're going to think we're getting there, and we're not realizing we're tensing up, and we're just getting sloppier, and it's not smooth. So I know slow seems boring, but you'll get it right. Then you can gradually speed up. Again, you should get used to the good old metronome. So if you are, playing, you kind of stick right in sync with that click. So again, we had pattern 4 and 6, which would have been kick, kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, kick, 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 kick, snare, kick. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and kick, kick, snare. Kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, kick, kick, snare, kick. Okay, so that was 4 and 6, keeping pattern 4 as the theme. Now we're going to take pattern 4 and pattern 5. So pattern 5 would have been, and again, what we're going to do is take that quick kick in the middle. So we've got number 4, pattern 4. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to slip that extra quick kick, which is on that 8th note, in the middle. So right after that first snare hit, we're going to hit an extra kick, which is going to give us 3 in a row in the middle part, which would be. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I say that one a little bit slower, kick, kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, 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 kick, kick, snare, kick, 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 snare. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so anyway, sorry, I'd like to kind of say it both ways with the kick, snare, and the counts, but put a metronome on again. Now I've got mine at 60 again, so you've got that. Okay, so if I was doing the one I was just doing, okay, so if I say it again, going kick, kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, kick, kick, snare, kick, 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 snare. Okay, so anyway, I was just kind of not turning it on just so you could hear me a little better too. If you've watched my past videos, you know I use it, and guess what will be coming in the future lessons. So it'll be back, don't worry. Okay, now we're going to take pattern 4 again as the theme, and for the last one I wanted to show you here, we're going to take pattern 4 and link it to pattern 7. So that's going to give us our pattern 4. Okay, and then pattern 7 was the one that went. Remember, when you do that, it just sounds like you're kind of repeating the same idea with the extra kick, 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 snare, kick, kick, snare, kick. It just sounds like we're kind of doing the same thing once it repeats. So honestly, the same thing I'm getting ready to show you with pattern 4 and pattern 7, once you get used to putting these together, it's just going to sound like you're kind of looping it, you know, like it's just repeating itself. So 4 again. Okay, so this what you're basically doing after I hit that snare, that's where that extra kick's going to come in. So see, it's going to sound like I'm repeating it. Now again, this is a good foot exercise. Now what I'm doing again, pattern 4, kick, kick, snare, kick, kick, snare. So picture right after that snare, I'm going to hit the extra kick. But then I have to get right, and I know that's what's going to be hard, is just making sure. That's why it's good to have that on, especially when you're learning these. But I'm telling you, even professionals, we're still going to play the metronome. Right there, I can tell I got ahead of it a little bit. Okay, that's what's going to make me a smoother drummer and keep me more reliable to everybody else, including myself. Okay, so what I'm doing again was pattern 4 with pattern 7, which is, okay, and then when you put, so basically if you think of pattern 4, you're just going to put the extra kick right after the snare, kick, kick, snare, kick, 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and kick, kick, snare, kick, 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 snare, kick, 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 snare, kick, 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 snare, kick. Okay, so again, I know I sound repetitive, but I'm doing that for a reason. I want you to just kind of get your brain trained that when you know something, again, any instrument, it's just how can you shift it around just a little bit and create more and more possibilities. And again, outsmart your brain so you can realize, hey, I basically can already do this. I've played it, now I'm just changing it around just a little bit. Alright, have some fun, and as always, I'll look forward to seeing you in the next lesson.